Well. 60 years of independence for my country and also many parts of Africa. I have carefully studied our situation as Africans, and it amazes me. Having traveled all around the world today, and I thank God for the experience that I've had being out there and seeing what I saw. I left Africa at an early age of 22 years, and I've been traveling since then back and forth to the Western world. When I finally landed in China, maybe 20 to 30 years after touring the rest of Europe, I realized that I had been shortchanged, because what I'd been told about China, what I discovered in China, it blew my mind out of proportion. Now, what was astounding for me was Beijing reserved the old Beijing and the new Beijing. And you can tell the distance. I mean, I'm talking about centuries distance that was crossed from the old Beijing to the new Beijing. And the new Beijing is something you can imagine in your dream until you step your foot in there and see technology first, the level at which technology has gone in that country. And I think of Africa, where I've also traveled extensively, and I began to ask myself questions. You know, in this century that you are living in the midst of the COVID pandemic, and I see the struggles of the African leaders, my mind is blown. Our education system, like my brother has rightly said, has not helped us. We have been made into a repertoire machine. We are not inventors, we are not creators. We lapse into this area by design and orchestration. Because if you look at the first counting machine, the first computer was not built by no European, it was built in Africa, what you call the abacus. That's a computer in itself, you know. Mathematics was mastered here. You know, have you ever wondered architecture? Why are the Egyptian pyramids still standing till today with no cement, no sand, no structural surveys at that time? Have you ever wondered? What we call education today, my quest started when I left this country. My daughter went to a school that did London GC exams. And I left Africa as a proud father. Had my daughter's book list in my hand to go look for her books in London. You know, well, if it's London GC, apparently the books must come from London. I went to the first bookshop, and the lady asked me where I was coming from. I said Africa. I said, what part of Africa? I told her from Sierra Leone. She said, my goodness, what books are these? I said, well, these are the books that my kids are using for London GC. She said, excuse me, I've never seen this book before in my life. And this time I was the one who was shocked. Then I began to discover, in fact, let me tell you the story. It took me 10 days to be able to buy one book, because I had to go to Amazon. Amazon had to search for it for a whole week before they found it in some dustbin somewhere. So that was in the heart of London City, where the London GC is supposedly coming from, that our children sit to in Sierra Leone. The books that we are using here are not in the bookshops of England. That tells you that what we are learning here is a relic of education. And the creators of our books that we are reading here, Evans, Macmillan, these are British companies that since I was in school in class 1, they have been preparing books for us till today. In fact, they make the markup for us, because what the Ministry of Education is dishing out is based on what they gave to us as curriculum. Today, trust me, in the financial world, I excelled in the business world in the UK, and I had offices in Eaton Square. If you find out about Eaton Square, the address where I was living in London is 115 Eaton Square. Very posh area, 5 minutes away from the Queen. How I got there, the Lord and my ingenuity got me there. But the key here was, that's why I learned financial management, which is not taught in accounting in school, neither in universities, nor anywhere else. But they are practicing this system every day. And what is this system? They are monetizing assets. And these assets are not European assets, because they don't have any. I'm talking about gold, diamonds, and that kind of stuff. We have them in Africa. And yet, especially at this time, when the world is busy monetizing their assets, Africa is busy selling. In other words, they turned us into a bunch of consumers and not producers. And yet we are very proud of having PhDs. I have 2 doctorate degrees. When I start thinking of myself and what I have in my hand, thank God the first one is a DBA, Doctor of Business Administration, and then a Doctor of Divinity. But in the business administration line, I was shocked to understand that what we call financial engineering, many of our technocrats in governance in this country and in other parts of the world, they don't have a clue of what it is. And they're complaining about money. Oh, we have to go according to the book of IMF, according to the book of World Bank. Who told you their book is what you need to succeed? Every nation that has succeeded in Africa, including Paul Kagame and the late Magufuli, they walked away from those guys and they did their thing, and yet their country developed. If you hear the story of how much we owe IMF for them to be dragging us the way they are dragging, we owe them less than 1 billion. And yet they have us by our necks. We're not supposed to borrow from anybody that they don't know, they must approve. Why am I saying this? Because I'm in the financial world. We need to ask ourselves today, after 60 years, a 60-year-old man, I'm very close to that level, a 60-year-old man is a mature man, is a man who's supposed to know where he's going. But does Africa, because when you talk about 60, you're talking across Africa, we gained independence about the same time, a few years apart. If you look at Ghana today, one of the reasons why Ghana is where it is today is because you have people like the leadership in Ghana who have discovered that they can live beyond what they've not gotten rid of World Bank. They accommodated them, but at the same time follow their own plans. Today, when Ghana is talking about money, they're talking about billions of dollars. I mean, there are nations in Africa where the World Bank gives 2 billion, 3 billion. Yet, in my own country, they're giving us $20, $30 million, $50 million, and they're making much noise about it. Yes, fine, they're helping us. But do you really need help from their pockets, or you need help from our minds? I'm going to do a series of these messages throughout the month, the week of our independence, just to bring us to the point to let you know that yes, you can be independent in your mind and move on to success. All this bickering and fighting, tribal wars, tribal differences, was all organized so that we will be fighting amongst ourselves and not focus our attention on the common enemy, which is our backwardness, which is our reversal. Because if you come from the north and you're fighting a man from the south and both of you are in the same country, you're like two boys in the same house where your father is watching you and you're fighting in the house on who is the greatest. Your father will be, if your father is a white man, he'll be thinking that these guys are not going anywhere, they will soon destroy themselves. So I want to whet your appetite today after watching this video about this man talking about education. This is where we are. How do we get from here? How do we move forward? How do we go to the points where we make Africa an envy in the look? China 50 years ago was nothing. Today, it has been depicted that in the next decade, China will supersede the Western world in technology. How did that happen? The Western world saw the need to pour in money to China. They said they were looking for cheap labor. They didn't know who they were dealing with. The Chinese are automatic recording machines. They recorded what they had. They are not repertoires. They are thinkers. They thought their way out. And you know, when I went to Beijing, and I need to share this with you, a friend of mine went to a shop. We are going to look for iPhones. So the guy took us to the market, and he said to us, "What kind of iPhone do you want? You want Guda Guda? You want non-Guda Guda? You want non-Guda Guda Guda?" And they went on to 7 levels. I never believed him until we put our foot in the shop, the shopping mall, and they showed us what they said was a real iPhone, and even that was a fake, because the real iPhone, I know the value of the real iPhone. Showed us the Guda Guda, they showed us the non-Guda Guda, they showed us the non-Guda Guda Guda. They showed us 7 values of the iPhone. All of them have the same skin, the same indication, but until you put the machines on, that's when you know what you bought. All because they had become geniuses in technology. Now we are geniuses in Fange, in Witch-Gun, in Congoism, if English could permit me, you know, in tribalism, in sectionalism. That's what we have become experts in. But what should make us move on? You know, we are sitting on wealth. This country is sitting on 39 of the world's most wanted resources. Yet we are fighting on what tribe is the best, what tribe is the great. And each of these tribes have enough resources in their area to feed the whole country. Whether it's rice, it's gold, it's diamonds, it's platinum, it's bauxite, you know, it's rhodium, it's uranium. In this country, it's oil. In this country, onshore and offshore. And yet still, we're not sober. I want to pause here. At 60, where are we going? I'll come up with more of these programs. This is Reverend Dr. Modu Conte. This is my voice and my face, so you don't miss me. God bless you. Happy anniversary.